Alistar. So what I will say is that now you're seeing Let Me starting to think up his picks. Darius is a possibility. Remember, one of the major weaknesses that the GP has is if he gets challenged in dive situations. And you know the Gragas puts in the jungle, great CC that's there, they just need the damage to follow up. So Kennen is technically one, but Let Me would go towards the Darius, and that's a possibility of just going for the dives, being relentless in your top lane's pursuit.
He could look for the counter pick here and try to save counter pick for Xie against Faker in the mid lane, as LeBlanc is banned away from Xie. So might even try to prioritize the Orianna if they want to pick something safe themselves in that mid lane. Still a very strong champion, but now Team China have got to show us how they're going to try to round this out. You already mentioned the Kennen, something Let Me has prioritized, but it's actually going to be the Ornn up top. It's double engage, make that triple if you include the Gragas.
Yeah, Ornn is just calling out that they're going team fighting. They don't care that they're going up against a GP top lane. It's a bad matchup, but you have the shield that you can just CS underneath it. Maybe you can dive, but you'd have to bring in the mid laner, and that mid laner is where we're leaving off. What is Xie going to pick here? You already mentioned the Orianna. I think you just go for it because it's great for the composition. You have a lot of damage when you picked up Luden's Echo.
Ooh, and Faker finds himself on Zoe in the mid lane. Xie, he's already been calling out this matchup by aggressing through the early lane phase. Ming with a bit of a smile as he takes Kassadin into the mid lane Zoe.
That's insane. I mean, major questions is what is Xie gonna pick in game 3 if he's confident enough to go for the counter matchup? And yes, he is. Highlight plays have been made with Xie on the Kassadin pick. It is always a major gambit, but when it pays off, Xie goes off.
And this is absolutely a confidence play from Team China. They set themselves up for team fights and scaling. That's all they want to do with this. But that means that the laning phase is going to be quite risky for them. And Team Korea, that's where they've been getting their strength this entire tournament.
Yeah, they have no range, by the way. China just doesn't have it. Bottom lane, they're going to get pushed in by the arrows that, of course, the Varus is going to be throwing off. They have the range advantage in bottom lane. Push advantage should be for Korea. Mid lane should be somewhat similar. It's always going to be on the skirmishing, and they have the Olaf to look for those fights. I like the early game coming out of Korea.
And as the coaches shake hands, you get to hear the fans cheering once again. This venue is starting to fill up. As we get ready for this Game 3, the teams are tied 1-1, neck and neck. Team Korea owns the overall head-to-head matchup throughout the group stages, throughout the qualifiers. They have consistently come out on top. Now they are 2 games away from taking the first League of Legends gold medal. As we prepare to load onto the Rift, will it be Team Korea taking this victory and getting 1 game away from closing out the series, or will it be Team China trying to bring it back and show that they too can compete with the best?
About to get in, and it's just so fun to see when these compositions clash, who'll come out the best. Now, already mentioned Team China. We'll have to see if they can do it. We're getting into game.
As 5, the players make their way onto the Rift. Seems as though the cheering, the fans are running their voices as ragged as we are, Raz, to constantly get these players nice and hyped up for this series. As 60 seconds on the clock so far. Score sets himself up, some nice aggressive vision into Team China's jungle. Ruler's even stepping up towards the blue buff to look for Uzi. And how appropriate that we get the double Samsung skins. But Ming, he's found them from the side. He's nearly in range for the double flash. He's able to get one. Ruler matches it. And Core JJ will back off as good piercing daggers will find Core JJ for some damage, constantly trading back and forth.
Good job to have just the Varus flash. So Varus needed to flash. If he got hit up by the knockup, then the Gragas was going to follow. There we go. I mean, you can look for bottom lane now if you're MLXG.
Yeah, Core JJ is still trading back against Ming. Taking that Gleaming Quill means he's got sustain and he's already back up to full health despite the flash engage from Ming. Now it should be noted, it is Hex Flash from Ming, so if he ducks into a brush, he can still pop out and look for some damage back. But now that Ming is finally back in range of the minion wave, he should be getting some of these triumph stacks. But already, Team Korea are controlling this lane.
Yeah, they need to. We're getting to a point right now. We already mentioned the Hex Flash, so getting bush control is crucial. And you know that MLXG is going to be hovering over your lane. So as long as you get the control here, and you can call your jungler, that being said, Olaf is top lane. I don't think they expect this.
Now he's looped around up top. He's dodged through the vision. He's coming up behind them. The body slam is ready. Ruler has no flash. That's the ignite. He goes low, and he goes down. First blood to Team China's Uzi.
Don't know why they didn't expect it. Now, usually junglers that end up going in the bottom lane and starting there will stay bottom lane. So, Flash being blown on the AD carry, of course, MLXG is going to come right back bottom lane. They push up pretty heavily, and there's no Olaf to support them. So, at the very least, he can get something topside, going to steal out the red buff, but that's a great advantage for MLXG.
Score, as you said, getting that red buff. MLXG trying to finish off these Krugs as quick as he can, but Luku's making his way back into lane. It's Ruler. They were spotted out by a ward from Core JJ, who's starting to step up.
Here we go.
He's already level 2. That's the Gleaming Quill, but Ming lands himself the stun, and we're going back into the replay.
Go back in time. No.
As they're trying to get the kill onto Ruler, you can see they've made it out alive. Ruler and Core JJ made it under the turret.
All right, at least we can see a little bit of that. Nothing really happens there, but we're getting in a dicey situation, so it's always fun, you know. Get that,
keep you on your toes, yeah.
Go Sepia, to be continued, that's how we end it. Turn the stream off.
Exactly. Next time on this wonderful fighting episode, Score, he's going for a 3-buff start here, as he was able to get both reds and now is taking his own blue, but MLXG, he is non-stop roaming around the map. Teleport, gets GA back into lane. MLXG is behind Faker. Flash, body slam, and the ignite, but he picks up the flash and walks it off.
There we go. I mean, use the flash body slam to get in there. I mean, it was actually Faker's flash's own, so good job. He ends up picking the flash on his way out. But there we have it. You can see what the strategy is for MLXG. He knows he has 2 lanes that are getting pushed in underneath their own turret. Just means that he has stronger ganks. One bottom lane that nets the kill, and one mid lane that has the flash of Faker.
Now that is even more opportunity, constantly channeling that Hex Flash to keep Core JJ and Ruler, who seems to have completed yet another recall. He did die a second time, as I believe that was something that we did just miss. Meanwhile, up top, Let Me trading with Keen.
Here's what I want to see. Zaya's basing with 2 kills in her pocket. I want to see how much gold she has to pick it up. So this is what we missed. The dive that came through. Alistar deals a lot of damage and can tank for some time. So isolated, Varus ends up dying.
Yeah, Uzi and Ming, just this 2v2 duo, one of the strongest in the world. They see an opening and they capitalize on it immediately, knowing there's no summoner spells from Ruler. The BF Sword boots start from Uzi. What was supposed to be a strong laning phase from the Varus Rakan, starting to look a little bit dicey as Xie just keeps on taking harass in this mid lane. Faker has got non-stop wave control, but he's not able to do anything with it just yet, though. Score and Core JJ might be trying to set something up. MLXG caught in the grand entrance. He's jumped down low and dies. Score finds the first kill for Team Korea.
Good call on that one. They knew he didn't have flash, so there was no way for him to get out of there. Calling in Core JJ, and now it looks like they're setting up for a mid lane dive. One of the major weaknesses of Kassadin is keeping himself safe under tower.
So close to level 6, but isn't there yet. He needs to get that Rift Walk in order to escape from this, as even Uzi is backing away. That's the Predator. Now he sees Score. He's forced to turn and run back to the tier 1, but the Undertow misses. He steps up, lands the snare, and Score can't walk forward. Core JJ and Let Me trying to turn this around. A knock-up. Battle Dance forces Score's flash out of this. The flash, the knock-up over the wall. Let Me wants it, and Let Me has found it. He gets the kill. MFG collapses. She is level 6. He's got the Rift Walk, and Faker is forced to run and hide, as this is 5 kills to 1 for Team China.
That was disastrous for Korea. They tried their hardest to get the kill on towards Uzi, but the members kept coming from China, teleport through from Let Me to hold him down, and then gets the kill. So excellent early game from China immediately. Now you see Ruler on the back foot.
Things are looking very dire as the Team China fans are chanting as loud as they can. The Team Korea fans trying to match it. and provide that enthusiasm as we take a look at that once again. It all starts from a dive setup, and Team China just turn it around.
They just did not expect how much damage Uzi was going to output, because before the teleport even came through, Score was at half HP, made it easy for the follow-up from Orin to come through, and the flank from Xie to boot. They were all ready for the play once Uzi was safe under tower.
Oh, and he even gets the kill on the backside onto Faker. 3-0 and 2 with Berserker Greaves and that BF sword. The Kassadin, level 6, 1-0 and 1. No longer has to worry about that early laning phase against the Zoe. And despite Score picking up the first kill for Team Korea, he's got to be able to do something more with it, as MLXG happy to sacrifice his jungle farm to set up these massive lanes.
Yeah, he hasn't even completed his jungle item. He's not concerned about it. Predator Gragas means he's just going straight towards his first boot, so just does it now as he's base. But now he's online with his Predator. He's going to be looking towards one of these lanes, and he has the Alistar in the bottom lane. Why not just make a second visit?
They might be setting up for Let Me up top. Score trying to control this vision. Even Faker is on this side of the map as they're stealing away the red buff. But MLXG, look at that. He's not even going towards the top side. He's not playing towards Let Me at all. Instead, playing towards the bottom half of the map. Now, Team Korea did set up some defensive vision, so they do spot out MLXG over there. They know that Xie is still in the mid lane, so there isn't a huge threat for any collapse onto the bottom tier 1 just yet. But this could be Team China looking for an opening.
To your point earlier, this is just the risk that your style comes about. Level 6 for Olaf, and he's now moving towards level 7 because of the experience he's been focusing on. MLXG is not even 6 just yet. So with how much he's been helping out his laners, he needs to start helping out himself. Once he hits 6, he can help out the lanes, get the cask ready for him. But as of now, he cannot so much look at Score.
Yeah, complete self-sacrifice in the jungle. But as we said, this does give Score a large opportunity to try and take a trade, try and bully that Gragas out even more. Still though, Xie constantly trading back and forth against Faker under this turret, as Faker is starting to get some damage, whittling down onto it. And the bottom lane rulers only 13 CS down, but 3-0 and 2. Uzi is scaling up very strong as he looks for that Stormrazers. And now MLXG will unlock him.
Yeah, once he gets Stormrazers, that's when Ruler has to back up. The biggest thing about Xayah is, yeah, she has pretty low range, but her feathers actually make her effective range rather long. It means that you can't play into her. If you try and look for a fight, the back-end damage from her feathers, especially once they're past 3, gets the stun and massive damage. Here comes MLXG.
That's the Predator, and Xie's there too. Chains of Corruption misses. Ruler's the target, pinned against the wall. Double knock-up, and Uzi is on a rampage. Core JJ escapes, but still Team China playing towards that bottom lane.
Flashes over the Rakan W. No way that he was going to be sticking down there. So was able to just get right on top of Ruler. Now this tower is going to be the next focus for China.
You can see a fight on both sides of these walls as Score looks for the Krug camp. Even the cannon barrage out of Keen used to clear out this minion wave and try to stall this snowball.
Depends on how risky China wants to play it. The next wave is coming in hot too. It's a cannon wave as well. You can see Gragas still in the area. If they want to, they can try and look for this tower, but you can see Korea is ready.
Score sitting in the brush along with Core JJ. MLXG has no flash and has no ultimate, but he's still playing towards that top side. And here we get to see that dive attempt once again.
Look how decisive it is. The moment the wave is coming through, at the very least, like, Korea recognizes this is going to be an issue. So they're going to be heading on towards their second tower, but, you know, Predator Gragas, hell of a drug, already there. Throws him into the wall, flashes over Rakan W. So very easy for them to net the kill the moment they've already got him pinned to the wall.
And from that, they're starting to work down that bottom tier 1 turret. Keen, meanwhile, has been snowballing up top. He's about 25 CS ahead of Let Me and is scaling up. That cannon barrage is going to start doing some damage as he looks for the Triforce completion. But bottom tier 1 still holding, but only barely. Stormrazers is finished for Uzi. He hits like a truck if he's able to bring down that turret. That could unlock Ming around the map and allow Team China to snowball the game, but MLXG has found Let Me, forced to take the searing charge back towards the turret as he flashes away from Score's undertow.
Yeah, behind enemy lines, he had to get out of there. They didn't expect the Olaf to be topside because Uzi was like, all right, I guess I get a free tower bottom lane now.
That's the trade. Now Faker's up top. They manage to catch MLXG as a sleepy trouble bubble from Faker finds him, but the knockup goes sideways and denies any follow-up. Score and Faker at lower health over the wall. Xie finds a kill onto Faker as Ruler gets dove again in the bottom lane.
Advantages across the map from China, because as we just pan away from the disgusting plays top lane, bottom lane's another dive. Score has to get out of there.
Predator gets Score to safety, but only just. He finds a revenge kill onto MLXG, the second kill for Team Korea, but 12 minutes in, it is 8 kills to 2, and Uzi is massive, 5-0-2, breaking down the bottom tier 2 turret, only 12 minutes in.
Ruler and Core JJ their cries are happening. They're calling for their team. They ain't being hurt. Top lane dives galore. At least Korea would have gotten something had the dive top lane worked. But Xie comes in, gets the kill on Faker, and at the same time, just knowing that everyone's on the top side of the map, Alistar just goes for it on towards Ruler. So 2 of their major carries already far behind.
Now they're looking towards this Mountain Dragon. Team China trying to expand this advantage. And the Score is nearby. He's got no smite, he's got no flash, he's got no chance. As Uzi heads back to base, not even staying to finish things off. That does leave MLXG all by his lonesome to finish off the Mountain Dragon, adding just a bit to the time. But he locks it down, no problem. 3 health left. And it is 2,500 gold for Team China as they are opening this game up and denying Team Korea the late game that their composition so desperately wants.
This is the play that we kind of missed out on, because you already saw the damage coming through from Ornn. He just wanted to lay enough damage, so this comes through. Of course, the Kassadin nailing the kill on the Faker. They try for a little bit more, but the stun was there, so hey, you know, at least he gets out. Keen is out of there. He has to blow his flash, though.
Yeah, MLXG trying to collapse and flank onto Score, but doesn't have any follow-up from Xie or Letme, ends up dying. Minor mistake, but still big advantage to Team China, as now they've put Uzi and Ming in this mid lane to control waves and start working down the mid-tier 1 turret. They've got priority towards Dragon and Rift Herald right now.
It's so damaging here for Korea, because this should have been a composition that they had an early game lead with Olaf, Varus, and Rakan. The problem is, 13 minutes into the game, 2K gold lead in China just because of the fights that have been happening, just strewn us across the map. So now this is working well for China. Their composition needed to come online late game, but I guess it's already gotten to the point. Storm Raiders already there for Uzi, and Kassadin's going to be on a side lane.
Look at that. Faker is forced to clear this wave that's constantly being pushed in by Uzi and Ming. You can see the roam around that mid towards the Rift Herald. Scuttlecrab was taken by Score, and though the vision is being cleared out, that's still 4 members from Team China sitting in the river and controlling this half of the map. Ruler's top lane is still unsafe, as he's not even finished his Blade of the Ruined King, going on 15 minutes.
0-4-0. It's just tough to swallow for any AD carry in this kind of position, getting dived underneath their inner tower.
Now that Score actually trying to collapse onto Xie, it looks like. He turns around, caught by Core JJ as Uzi looking for an opportunity in, but that's a good charm from Core JJ. They managed to get the shutdown onto Xie as Team China overextend for the blue buff. They get it, but lose their mid laner. Sleepy Trouble Bubble is ready. Letme turns around to sacrifice himself, and Team Korea find an opening.
Indecisive from China. Sure, they were looking for the blue buff, but they didn't know exactly what they're trying to do. Either fully engage or just try and steal it away. And it's Xie that ends up dying at the very beginning. So what should have been a Rift Herald pressure from China gives it all over to Korea now.
They had set up so much vision, but the one direction they didn't anticipate an attack coming from was the one behind them. Score and Keen collapsing to find the flank and forcing China to split up. They find the kills, they find the Rift Herald. They could find an opportunity back into this game.
Yeah, if you make a mistake against this composition Korea has, you will get chased down. Olaf there with Predator is going to chase you down, multiple slows there. And the Sleepy Trouble Bubbles, if one hits, it's going to keep hitting. Lower cooldown with more that it sends out, so that's the problem that you have here. A lot that Korea can use can take an advantage that they have and then turn it into a large one. As the game goes on, 30 minutes and beyond, that could just be the difference between making one mistake and a team wipe.
Currently, that mistake could be the mid-tier 1. China trying to catch the recall timing of Team Korea. Ming actually going for the knockup, but that's a grand entrance. He's caught by the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, but a Gleaming Quill sets him free from that nap and he escapes. But this time we're seeing Team Korea learn from their mistakes. That recall in Game 1 cost them the mid-tier 1 turret. That same play cost them the mid-tier 1 in Game 2. But this time they're defending, and it takes a much larger investment from Team China to break it down.
Yeah, you can already see them playing a lot smarter and just side by side. So with the early game, you saw Ruler and Faker being the opposite side of the map. Now they're just pretty closely knit, knowing that if they're going to get any pick, it has to be together.
That being said, that does mean that Team China will have to invest so much more to find those kills. Rift Herald still sitting in Score's pocket. He's got about 2.5 minutes left on that duration, so plenty of lanes to choose from. Just needs to wait for an opportunity for Team China to make his mistake. The mid-tier 1 already taken so low by Faker's presence during the laning phase. Bottom already chunked down to half. Even top has taken some damage from Keen.
The good thing about the Rift Herald is that it's just a flat denial from China having it. I don't see much value in Korea being able to use it because they can't follow up if it goes in towards the second tower. The moment it does, you'll see Kassadin on a flank alongside the Gragas pick. China wants the fight. Korea cannot give it to them, so they have to use the Rift Herald, but then abandon it.
Very well could be the opportunity for Team Korea if they want to try to pull Team China apart. Of course, plenty of flexibility with where he ends up playing that. That's where Team China need to rely on vision to track where that Olaf is going so that they can react appropriately for when that Rift Herald gets dropped down. But they've got control of the bottom lane through Let Me, pushing the wave into Keen and trying to keep him busy down bottom. He's sitting on the Ignite for now as Unsealed Spellbook has not cycled back over to that teleport, so it is a brief teleport advantage for Keen. But still, it's constant maneuvering around the vision. Where is Score going to go, and where is he going to drop that Herald? Especially now that it's 30 seconds to the next dragon and 90 to Baron.
For how long it's been stalled out, it's going to turn into a trade. It's going to have to be China saying, hey, maybe you take the top lane tower, but we've already set up towards a dragon. We'll be able to get a second dragon for our team. That's where China would end up being able to give away, let's say, a Rift Herald push.
Now they are setting up a trap on the bottom side of the
wow,
jungle. That's one way to do it. Call of the Forge God. They've found Keen. He's got a flash, but isn't even going to try burning it as they find the kill. Uzi is dominating as he finds yet another kill.
That's the benefit of taking an inner tower pre-20 minutes into the game.
But look at the trade. They see the Rift Herald used up top, and they're looking for the inhibitor turret pre-20 minutes. Core JJ is forced to back up. Ming eats a huge hit from the Paddle Star, but the inhib turret goes down. MLXG eats a Paddle Star and is forced to step back. Uzi caught by the slow, but a snare prevents Ruler from stepping forward. And look at the damage from Xie. Core JJ gets forced back in a flash. Sleepy Trouble Bubble has found Uzi. He heals, and his team is set to block and keep him alive. Ming takes the hit as that's Ignite used onto Faker. He doesn't find the kill, but he stalls this out.
Yeah, you had to be aware of the Sleepy Trouble Bubbles coming through, not just because it's going to pick out Uzi, but because it slows down the pace and allows the rest of the team to chase him for a fight. So, at the end of the day, that's a really good trade from China as long as they can hold the top lane turret from dying.
I mean, they're certainly trying to. Xie is on his way up there to clear out Rift Herald. And with Score back on the map, he's able to dissuade Team China from stepping onto the dragon. It is only a cloud, so not huge incentive, but with the mountain already stacked up, that does reduce the impact of an inevitable Elder Dragon if this game goes on long enough. So the trade ends up paying off. Inhib turret for a top tier 1.
Right, roll the dice, let's see what the next dragon is. Just stay as a cloud dragon, which is actually good for Korea here. Olaf with Predator chasing you down with in-combat movement speed is going to be a big plus to Score.
Oh yeah. Landing those undertows suddenly becomes so much easier when you can close the gap. Now Keen is split pushing bottom. Let Me gets caught recalling, refreshing that health and mana pool, and picking up some items along the way. Keeps the bottom tier 1 standing, but still no teleport from Let Me. Means that he's going to have to try and react to Keen and keep him in constant vision, especially now that he's got the way all the way cleared down to that inhibitor on the bottom half of the map. But still, Team Korea, there's still plenty of opportunity for them to set up vision around there and prevent any sort of plays, whereas Team China are free to play towards mid and top.
I think the vision Korea has to set down are defensive vision in the top side. Baron is going to be something to look at. It's been up for about a minute now. And if Let Me has a great flank teleport to use, then that's going to be the go-to for Team China. it's so hard for Korea to flank down the Xayah because Uzi, of course, is going to have his summoners. He already has his flash. He gets his heal. That's going to be great for him. And then he has his ultimate still available. So it's so hard to dive on back. And if you have the teleport coming in from Let Me, it's a great fight for China.
And it is so important to bring Uzi down. He is 6-0-2 with a completed Infinity Edge, but they're looking for Faker, and they found him. He lands a Trouble Bubble, but look at the damage. Uzi is godlike as he finds that kill. And now Let Me is in the mid lane using a long-range call of the Forge God. Piercing Arrow is ready. Lands on Gromp.
Routing them to the top side of the map. I wonder if they're going to go towards the Baron or continue to push through mid. Not really making a decisive call here. It's going to be hard for Core JJ to come back into the mid lane.
They're buying time for Xie to push top for the tier 1 and further limit the mobility of Team Korea around the map. Open up these opportunities for Let Me to land the big call of the Forge God knockup. Xie, with his completed Rod of Ages and that Zhonya's Hourglass, finishes off the top tier 1 and even goes so far as to deny the minion wave.
QSS just built up by Uzi, even finished off his Infinity Edge. 3 items and a QSS. Uzi is such a good position right now in these fights. We already mentioned how slippery he was going to be with his ultimate. Now, I wouldn't even touch him at this fight. You have to try and focus on the Gragas or the Kassadin before you even touch towards the AD carry.
And that is a very scary proposition when you consider that that is a Gragas that is building tank. That is a Kassadin who is highly mobile with his Zhonya's and a flash.
Yep.
If that's the trade-off that you've got to worry about, then Team Korea might be in trouble. But Score, he's trying to set up some vision around this Baron pit, but Team China just group up once again, playing the exact same vision game, the exact same play. If it worked once, don't try anything fancy, just keep on doing it to open this map up. Battlestar looking for some damage. Even the Sleepy Trouble Bubble zones them away, but Team China are just controlling their waves.
And I think Korea now has to change their priority. I mean, looking for Sleepy Trouble Bubbles were nice before, but now there's just, we've gotten to a point in the game where Alistar can tank it for free along with Horn. It has to be around the barrels that Gangplank has. Gangplank at this stage of the game is in the bottom side, but if he joins up with the team, he already has a hefty amount of damage. If he can just poke down the Kassadin or Uzi, that's your way to come back.
Ooh, that one lands, but just out of range. Ming is able to walk away without taking that chunk of damage. As he said, even though it is reduced against that Alistar, doesn't want to take the damage for free if he can help it, especially setting up vision around this Baron. Let Me, once again, groups up with his team the moment his Call of the Forge God is off cooldown.
He has Warmogs too. It's incentivizing for them to play around Baron. They can just continue to touch it, and then if they feel like they need to move back, then he gets the full health back.
Now Keen is split pushing bottom. Team China see this is happening. They trade the bottom tier 1 turret and turn onto the Dragon. They've cleared out vision in the river. Ming and Xie are there on the side. Core JJ steps up. He's got the flash, quickness, grand entrance, even the teleport from Keen. He immediately follows it up with that teleport and the cannon barrage. Ming eats the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. And the teleport is completed, so they're grouped up as 5, but the Baron is dissuaded.
It's good that the damage came on towards Xie and MLXG, because if any more damage came on to Let Me, remember he had Warmogs. He was tanking the Baron for free for a reason. He knew he was going to be able to heal back. So basing from China as a whole means a free tower for Korea mid lane.
Yeah, not just 1, but 2. The bottom tier 1 turret and the mid tier 1, bringing it to 3 turrets to 5, and they've already chunked out that top tier 2. We're at 25 minutes into the game, approaching that late game mark. Gangplank at 2.5 items. This recall is going to net him something big at nearly 300 CS, 25 minutes in. Keen has been split pushing to his heart's content, and if he manages to find Uzi in a team fight with a barrel, with a parlay, that is a very, very dead Xayah. Still, it's a constant vision game for Team China. They've found picks before. Can they find them again?
Yeah, it's possible. I think they have a lot of good CC, and they're still staging a fight around Baron. Their plan is not going to change anytime soon. It's going to have to be Korea setting up an even better fight around Rakan's ulti. So they can get the charm, maybe a follow-up on Varus ulti. Then they can try and pick at the very least, I'd say Ming. Ming is the person you want to find out. If you blow his ultimate, then you can always re-engage.
Let Me feigns aggression as he charges into the wall. Xie is split pushing bottom against Keen, level 15 to level 16, as Last Whisper was the item purchase. He's forced to rift walk away. That barrel lands, And Xie uses even more of his mana to back out, but the Cloud Dragon has spawned and they've got control over mid and bottom. Team China could just take the consolation prize instead of looking for a pick, but that leaves them off the side of the map with that Baron.
This kind of changes things. The fact that Xie can't take that 1v1 versus King, but here we go, Ruler's caught out.
Ming has found him, that's Blade of the Ruin. King looking for the stun and lands it. Call of the Forge, got in the cast, pulls him back in. He flashes sideways to dodge the knockup. Ming tanking these hits, but flashes away. Uzi steps up, and that's Core JJ flashing out of this as Keen lands a big hit, but Uzi's still standing.
So close to get the kill on towards Ruler. That was a perfect cast from the Gragas. But they know that he's had to evade now, which means the pressure is there towards Baron. If I'm China, you just started.
The wave is pushed in. Uzi's back at full health, and like you said, Baron could be what Team China turn towards. There's lots of vision from Team Korea and Faker sitting in the river. Seeing that, Team China instead just to set up some vision, play it safe, and play it defensive. They don't want to risk turning it or taking any team fight that could go sour because death timers are getting pretty big. While they still have an advantage, it's not as large as it once was. Only 2,500 gold lead for Team China.
Yeah, lost team fight will turn into an inhibitor for sure. And that's where the problem is lying here because China found that window. Base timing on the AD carry should have meant Baron for them, even a better team fight if Faker and Score tried a challenge. But they decided against it, which means that the threshold for what makes a better team fight for China is a little higher. It means that they need to get a better cask if you are MLXG.
And that's constantly playing around the vision, looking for those flanks like we just saw onto Ruler and Core JJ. 3 summoners down on them means they could try to look for the same 2 players, but already Team Korea are moving as a unit to deny that. Mercurial Scimitar has been picked up by Uzi, so he is absolutely huge at 4 full items, level 15 in this game. But once again, despite a strong and absolutely dominant laning phase from Team China, Team Korea have been able to stall it out and deny any further presence from Team China. They made it all the way to the inhibitor res, but they haven't been able to break down the base and get closer towards the Nexus than just that push. But, ooh, that Paddle Star, very close. Sleepy Trouble Bubble forces him to feign back and Score, lands an Undertow.
It's just because there's no wave clear here from China. Ornn and Kassadin need the setup, and here's one.
That's the Call of the Forge God. Cannon Barrage steps forward. Faker forced to flash away. Ming with a 3-man knockup. Core JJ looking to go in from the side. They found Xie. He activates the Zanyas, but Uzi steps up, finds himself the first kill. Blade of the Ruin King. Heal matches at the flash. The auto, he gets the double kill. Cleanse to get away from the Sleepy Trouble Bubble and finds himself yet another kill.
It was just enough, and it was so close, too. Xie would have died in that situation, but he had the Zonyas, held it tight, stayed alive, and that's a 2-for-0 for China.
Now the Baron is started. Blue Trinket spots this out, but with Let Me tanking, Team China are going to shred through its health. Uzi is huge. Score and Faker along with Keen are in the mid lane. They're not even going to risk heading over towards the pit with Xie zoning them away. And the Baron goes down. Team China are back in the lead.
What a series this is. Every time you have any doubts towards China and them being able to find a team fight versus Korea, they get thrown away immediately. Good picks across the board. It starts with a triple knockup coming in from Ming. So take a look at this, because this is key. Horn slowing down Faker. By the time the fight really starts, Faker's out of it. There's no way he wants to join this anymore. And then you can see people grouping up. First kill from Uzi. He follows it because he's got that movement speed. He flashes forward too to get the second one. He is massive this game.
Oh yeah. 9-0-2. He has truly come into his own, perhaps ascending to that top tier status that he has been chasing ever since Rift Rivals, ever since MSI. And now, could it be enough to close out this Game 3 and bring Team China to 1 win away from taking the gold medal? Still, they've got the Baron buff, they've got the opportunity to siege, and Xie is heading back bottom to finish off that inhibitor that has been started so long ago.
Right now, Uzi's packing a punch. He's got his Zeal as he's closing up his item build, and it's now getting multiplied by the Infinity Edge. It's just been there, giving him 60% crit for a little bit, but now as he's starting to close out his build, he'll be at 100% once he's finished it up. So, really well done. Uzi's going to be who you play around.
bringing in these Baroned up creeps all the way to the middle inhibitor turret. Xie is escorting the wave bottom as Let Me is trying to stand bodyguard along with Ming in front of Uzi. But whoa, Xie and Ming find a kill onto Faker. Uses the ignite, but with no flash, he doesn't escape. And suddenly this siege became a whole lot scarier.
It's all going to be on this next wave. Kassadin's just going to look at his watch. He's like, all right, yeah, sure, three of you, do what you want. But the mid lane is what you have to focus on. The dive is so real, and Kassadin is going to be there to join him.
Xie still ready for the flank, clearing out the minion wave, lands some damage onto Keen, but that's the Predator. Middle inhibitor turret goes down. Now they're turning onto the mid and bottom inhibs at the same time. Mid goes down, but Uzi backs away, leaving Xie to finish off the bottom. It too will fall, and Team China take their advantage and don't risk it, backing off.
Conceding the world, Korea is. The fact that they just conceded their mid lane tower and inhibitor really showcases how confident they were that they were just going to lose that fight. So don't even want to touch it. 2 inhibitors down now. This is going to be one more fight to end the game.
And this is Faker looking for a flank on the side. Let's see how he ends up getting caught here. Core JJ is there.
So going back bottom lane is important because the Kassadin is how they got the kill. You had to be looking for it.
There it is. The portal jump and just lands the CC with Xie the exact same moment he steps up, landing the damage to burst that Zoe down. And with no flash, Faker again, no chance of escaping. Super minions now mid and bottom. Baron about to wear off for Team China, but they've still got plenty of time to put pressure on the map and look towards that final inhibitor turret.
It always comes down to how focused you are to play your style out. Playing a Zoe this late in the game, you're just looking for that one great Sleepy Trouble bubble to get the poke down. But if you're just focusing all on that, you'll lose full vision of what's happening behind you. So yeah, Kassadin's been there for some time in the bottom lane, and he was just so zeroed in on the push on mid lane that he completely forgot about it.
Now the top tier 2 has fallen. Team China alongside Uzi and Let Me looking for the inhibitor turret. The wave crashes in. They just saw Keen bottom. He's got teleport and cannon barrage, but makes his way out of the base. Sleepy Trouble bubble, but Ming is zoning them away. The final inhibitor turret goes down. Let Me steps up, sidesteps the barrel, and they make their way out of the choke point. They do not want to risk Core JJ getting a flash engage, locking Uzi down long enough to kill him, because he is all of Team China's gold right now. But they still manage to take the turret and back off, and super minions continue to push mid and bottom.
This is just the worst situation for a Zoe player. Any poke she gets down, not really going to last on the tanks that walk forward. Gragas, Ornn, and Alistar just using their heads, walking forward and giving space towards Kassadin and Xayah. Just gonna try and for this inhibitor. Now they've got a cannon wave behind them. So I wonder if that's gonna be enough, because GP's just sitting by.
Xie is pushing in mid. Super minions are still pushing in bottom. It's 90 seconds to the next dragon. But still no Baron just yet. MLXG gets split off from his team. Score thinks of engaging, but that's the call of the Forge God. Faker gets his flash, immediately forced to use it. Cannon barrage, looking for the disengage. Core JJ still holding on to the flash quickness, but decides not to follow the barrage, and Team China bait out the ultimate.
Yeah, no ulti from GP. They're gonna go all in to get this inhibitor now.
MLXG body slams forward, but Core JJ doesn't flinch, holds his ground. Good knock up onto 2. The follow-up from Ming. He's found it, and Ruler's already dead. Uzi steps up as they're chasing in, and Core JJ is forced to use the quickness to disengage. Uzi continuing to look for damage.
In and out from Xie. So every single time they try and focus him down, he just jumps out of the fight.
Uzi steps up. He's looking for score, and he finds it. Finds a double kill. Turns onto Core JJ under the fountain. He goes low and gets the triple. Core JJ survives, but Uzi sees the opening, and he takes it as he turns onto the Nexus turret and breaks it down. Team China are 1 win away from taking the gold medal.
Match point, tournament point. They are so close to being able to nail it down. And you are seeing a much more patient China. People's Republic of China recognizing that they have the composition to end the game. Uzi had all of the checkboxes listed. Fed, 6 items, he's got it. The tanks all in front of him, he has the safety. And so all he needed was his front line to move in. You can hear it from the crowd. They are that close to being able to take the gold medal.
Only one game away. They show the confidence that they need. They set up with a snowball during the lane, and despite Team Korea slowing things down during the mid-game, they still find the openings that they needed to break the game open, playing off of Let Me's form.